Everybody wants this question answered.
Oh no.
Why did you leave No Call, No Show?
Missouri musicians, then and now.
My lovely, wonderful wife, Tara.
Hi.
Hi. What are you doing today? Why are you here?
I am going to interview you. I'm going to put you in the hot seat.
Oh no. I'm gonna burn my buns.
Well, I felt it's important for people to know your background too, because you have a music history. You know, you are a part of music too. So I felt people should know.
Well, I appreciate that. I didn't feel important enough, I guess, to be interviewed, but there seems to be pieces of stories that we hear that involve me, so
Right.
I guess it's my turn.
Yes, it is.
I'm ready if you are. Fire away.
Okay, so I want to start from the beginning. I want to know what started all of it for you. Like, what got you into music?
When I was in middle school, they had a thing where they brought all of like these random musical instruments to the band room, and you got to try them out and see which ones you liked because you were about to be the age that you could be in band. And I was like, oh, cool, this is exciting. And I really, really, really wanted to play the guitar. And that was the most popular instrument that day, if I remember correctly. This was a long time ago. But I grabbed one, and I'm sure it was like a full-size guitar, so I had the wrong idea from the get-go. But I wrapped my hands around it, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like, my hands and fingers are not capable of playing this thing. And I gave up. And then they had you take a test to see like what instrument you'd be really good at, which I don't know how that's a thing, but
I remember that.
yeah, they said that I would be a really good trombone player. Everybody listening is like, ha, ha, ha. They're just laughing right now. Like, listen to this guy. I really wanted to be like a drummer or something, but they're like, you would be great at trombone. And that thing was wrong. I was not great at trombone. I was like average at best.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it began. But I always wanted to learn to play songs that I hear on the radio. All you guys listening, like, think of playing, Led Zeppelin on the trombone. Like, it's not gonna work. So I always wanted to play the guitar, and I actually ended up buying one my senior year of high school, a guitar and amp. And then I started teaching myself.
What song did you teach yourself?
The first song that I started screwing around with was Brain Stew by Green Day. Do you know that one?
No, I can't say I do.
Well, you'll have to look it up because I'm not going to sing it or anything, but it was really easy. And that was what I started off with. And then after that, I moved over to Simple Man by Leonard Skinner.
Now I know that song. Okay, so you bought your first guitar your senior year and started teaching yourself. So when did you start thinking about like getting into a band?
It really wasn't like a priority. I started like having friends around me, and I would show them things I was working on, or it kind of started when I started writing music. And then my good friend Teddy, which many people probably know, he was hanging around, and he took interest in it, and then it kind of took off from there.
Okay, so you got with Teddy and started playing with music. Then what started the idea of actually starting a band?
I think it was his idea.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, that, and like as I started to learn songs and stuff like that, I got together with Charlie, the drummer, Charlie Fisher, and I started going over to his house and playing music, just trying. I mean, I didn't have the equipment to play with the drummer, but we were having a lot of fun doing it. And I think that was another key thing that led to the formation of a band. Because Teddy and I, and Charlie and I, were simultaneously jamming, if you could call it that. And then eventually we just came together.
Nice. Did you guys play a lot of gigs?
We played at a birthday party at Charlie's house. And I forgot all about that. But we did. We played a birthday party, and other than that, I think we played at Shimmy's in downtown Eldon, which is not here anymore. But we played there a couple times. We played at the fairgrounds, and we played in Sedalia at Twister's like twice, I think. And then we played below the dam for a benefit show. That was really it, I think. We had a pretty short run, like, as a band.
Yeah.
But looking back, it feels like it was a long time. But, you could practically count the gigs on one hand. It's pretty wild to think about it.
Yeah. So how long did you stay in the band?
Probably about a year and a half. We started out with no bass player. And then Charlie's older brother, Michael, played bass for a little bit. And then we got Eric Cornett to play bass. And he was with us the majority of the time. So a lot happened in a short amount of time, I guess. But yeah, it was a pretty short run.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and announce the elephant in the room. Everybody wants this question answered.
Oh, no.
Why did you leave No Call, No Show?
If anybody's been following the previous couple of podcasts, like, they've heard other people's point of view. And my point of view was, I'll start with the thing I believe the most. I didn't feel capable enough as a songwriter and as a booker, and as a musician, honestly. Like, if you think about it, I was only playing guitar for less than 2 years at that point. I didn't have money to get lessons. I didn't have any friend teach me anything. Like, I taught myself. And I didn't feel like we were going places. Like, some people would disagree with that because we had recording going on. That was a huge deal to us. That was a huge goal for us, was to get something on a CD. Back 15 years ago, that was a big deal. But I didn't feel like I was getting us there. Like, we were playing in places that were not good places to play in. I don't know if you would consider it like we were cutting our teeth, we were paying our dues or whatever. But I didn't feel like I was good enough as a leader to get us there. Like, talent-wise, Charlie was unbelievable at an early age, and Teddy was really coming along. He was a really good singer for us, and a lot of people told me that, like, I was not a good singer, and I was not a singer at all. So I guess I kind of had those voices in my ear too. But Teddy was kind of disinterested on occasion. We were 19, 20, 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And, everybody listening, like, if you could think back to what you were doing and what you were interested in back then, and what you were like, that's what we were like. Some of us were chasing girls. Some of us were getting ready to be old enough to drink and have fun and stuff. And I don't know, like, everybody was kind of in a different place. And there was problems, like disagreements with the fact that we were playing at certain places, and And I think Teddy really enjoyed the vibe of playing in my basement. There was just a lot of things that went into it, and I decided that I wasn't going to be a part of it. And it's kind of weird to think about because I really, really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. So why did you not think about talking with them about how you felt? Or did you try?
I'm trying to remember. I don't know. I mean, honestly, that's a really good question. Like, because I can't recall sitting down with people and being like, hey, this isn't working out. Or like, hey, there's problems here. We need to figure this out. Like, I really don't remember doing that. And looking back on it, I think I should have. I don't know if it would have mattered, if it would have made a difference. In regards to there being issues of where we were playing and stuff, I did bring that up. But the timing of me bringing that up was not good. And by then, I think it was too late.
Well, looking back on it now, do you wish you would have done it differently?
I don't wish like that I would have stayed with the band. I wish I would have handled it differently. Like, yeah, I wish I would have handled it differently because I could be wrong here, but I think it's affected some relationships with them over the years. Affected negatively. It's just not something that a lot of us have talked about.
So after leaving No Call, No Show, what did you do next?
I think that was part of the reason why it was such a volatile situation, is the way that I left. When I was still with No Call, No Show, I got up on stage and I played a song with Senseless Tragedy. I was friends with Jacob and some of the guys, and it was a lot of fun. Like, it was different. I didn't feel like pressure to lead or to sing or to do anything. It was just like I just got to just go up there and play. And nobody like assigned me a position in No Call, No Show. Like, when I say lead, some people are probably rolling their eyes like, oh, yeah, there he is thinking he was like the leader or something. Like, the only reason I say that is because, like, I created the band, like, the name, I don't know if that, like, sounds terrible or something, but that's why I say that about being, like, the leader. I mean, we were all a unit, obviously, but, I mean, I just know I'm going to get crap for some of this stuff. But, anyway, it was nice to just get up there and play, and they were a whole different group of guys, like, in regards to the music, and it was just different, and it was time for a change. So I joined them in Sedalia. I think it was after I left. I don't remember. But I went there by myself, and they were playing a gig, and Jacob invited me to sing the chorus on one of their songs. And he, like, taught it to me that night. And I stepped in, and I did it, and it was a lot of fun, and I was nervous. And they had on their MySpace page, they had, like, a darked out picture with a question mark about who their new fourth member was going to be. And this was, like, it was very quick after I left. I don't remember how quick. I wish I would have remembered, like, if that appearance in Sedalia was before or after I left. I suppose that would be viewed quite differently on if I did or when I was still with them or not. So they announced it was me, and nobody was surprised. And I think that kind of added gas to the fire, I guess you could say. So if I had to go back and do that all over again, I would. I would do that a lot differently. It happened too fast. I wouldn't change joining Senseless Tragedy at all. I wouldn't change that because it like grew me as a musician, like because it was a different genre of music. I played everything that I wrote was slow and very, very like generic. You know, with them it was like it pushed me to my limits, and it made me a better guitar player. And of course I got to scream too. I was a screamer and one of the guitar players, so that was fun. So that was a really good experience overall, so I wouldn't change that, but I would change how I did it.
Right. So how long did you play in Senseless Tragedy?
Probably about 4 months, maybe not quite that long.
So what happened? Like, did you quit or?
I did. I realized that the type of music that we were playing wasn't what was close to my heart. Like, they were talking about all these bands that I'd never heard of. And then they would like go on break and stuff, and I would stay inside and I would play like Alice in Chains and stuff like that, just stuff that they would never play.
Yeah.
And well, I shouldn't say that, because I got them to jam Them Bones one night, because I was like, hey, I learned how to play this. And we worked, we just had fun with it. We weren't going to do anything with it, but that was pretty cool. But I realized when they were outside and I was playing Alice in Chains inside, I'm like, I should be out there with them, like if this was a good fit.
Right.
And it wasn't, so I decided to leave again.
So where did you go on your little musical journey after that?
I didn't do anything for a while. I just kind of sat around and learned some stuff, I guess. I didn't like do anything with anybody. So I don't remember how long it was before I did anything else, but after that I was on MySpace, and in Eldon there was a band called 3 Inch Girth. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, that sounds really weird. Like, I don't know. I don't remember if Robert reached out to me or if I reached out to him. I'll be sure to ask him that when I get together with him. But we started talking over MySpace, and then I went over to his house, and we played lots and lots and lots of Alice in Chains. Like, we didn't even know each other, and then we were like, hey, can you play this? Oh, yeah, I love Alice in Chains, yeah. And then we played literally everything we could until we couldn't play anything together anymore, and we really hit it off, and that's how that got started.
So it's almost like you found your match.
I did for a long time. 3 Inch Girth became Weathered Souls, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. 3 Inch Girth played open mic nights at Donna's Ice House in Max Creek, Lynn Creek. Yeah, it was Lynn Creek. And we had a lot of fun. Open mic nights with James Clay. We played for no money, and we just kind of built the chemistry, and it was a good time. There's usually a good amount of people there, because I think James Clay was a big name. So eventually we started getting paying gigs there because we could play longer, and then it kind of grew from there. We got together with Adam Kennedy, who Robert played music with before, and then I think we quit for a while. Like, Adam was kind of in and out, and then later on he rejoined as Weathered Souls. It's hard to go back and remember the chronology of all this. It's been so long.
Well, I know I was with you for the part of, most of 3 Inch Girth and Weathered Souls, but I wasn't there at the beginning of it. The name was something else. Let's just say that.
That's why it became Weathered Souls, for anybody wondering.
Right.
It was preventing us from playing in certain places.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that wouldn't let you play with that name.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I want to say it was somewhere in Jeff City. It was a pretty good venue, too. I wish I could remember which one it was. But we evolved into Weathered Souls, and that was pretty cool because I got tired of the joke. What 3 Inch girth? What does that mean? And Robert would always say it's the thickness of a guitar neck. And I think he told me once that he measured a guitar neck, and that was not accurate. So I wonder how many people believe that.
It's like Mythbusters.
Yeah, he should have done it like
debunked himself
at a gig. Or I'm surprised no one was like, "Oh yeah," and they pull out their little tape measure, prove it.
So how long did you and Robert play together?
Most of my 20s. If I had to guess, we probably got together when I was 23, maybe 24, and then we played up until like 2016 or so. So it was a long time. It was by far the longest I'd ever been involved in a project.
So what happened?
Gosh. I think if I had to really if I had to say without thinking too much about it, I think I was losing interest. Near the end, like, I don't know whether work was getting busier or something, but it was getting harder for me to play gigs on the weekend. So it became like I couldn't really sit and enjoy it. It was like, hey, we're done. I got to work tomorrow. Did we get paid? And, that sucked. Like, deep down, I kind of knew when I was behaving that way, like, it shouldn't be this way. But, I mean, if you look at the timing of everything, towards the end of all that, we had our first kid in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was a young dad with a young kid and a young family. I'm sure that played a part in it, but I don't know. I think I was just kind of losing interest. And I will say that Robert has an undeniable drive and love for music in all forms. And I'll get into that with him when we sit down. But like, his passion for music is like unmatched. And there was no way that I could hang with him in that regard. So I was kind of like, yeah, I need to go be a dad and learn how this family thing works.
Okay, so after your 3 Inch Girth and Weathered Souls career, where did life take you? Did you continue playing around with music? Have you written anything new?
No, I haven't written anything new. I've written some new, like, music, nothing completed or anything, but I was really thinking that I would kind of rehash some old stuff, like right after Robert and I went our separate ways. So I started like a page on Reverb Nation. It's still there, by the way. It's called After the Betrayal, and it was going to be like a side project, like a grungy acoustic screamo rock type of thing. Basically just like a combination of everything I had done up until that point. And I thought it'd be pretty unique to have acoustic music with like a little bit of screaming or like aggressive vocals over it. But that really never took off because I was so like wishy-washy about music at that time. So now here we are, and we're kind of coming full circle here. Are you looking for a new microphone? I highly recommend the Samson QTU. I got mine for $69 from Amazon, and it came with a whole bunch of accessories. A tripod, a windscreen, a mic clip, an XLR cable. This microphone is a beast. It's a dynamic mic. It can connect to your computer through USB or XLR cable into an audio interface. And what you're hearing now is just the microphone and my Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. There's no effects on this or anything. This thing is awesome. I get lots of compliments on the sound quality of the podcast. If you have a tight budget, the Samson QTU is the way to go. You will not be disappointed. It's #1 in multi-purpose dynamic microphones on Amazon for a reason. The only thing I wouldn't recommend about this value pack is the tripod. It's not very sturdy, it's really skinny, and it's a desktop tripod, so it's real small, and I had a slight breeze just blow over the tripod with my mic in it. But for $69, you really can't go wrong with the quality of this microphone and the accessories that come with it. Check out my affiliate link in the show notes. I may receive a small commission if you buy through that link. Thank you for supporting the show, and let's get back to the conversation.
So I know you've asked this to like some of the people already that you've interviewed. What are your thoughts and like opinions of like the music scene now compared to back then?
It's kind of an evolving answer, because before I started this podcast, if you would have asked me that, I would have said it's dead. It's non-existent. There's nowhere to play in Eldon. Of course, I'm old now, but I'm not in the loop. But there's nobody I know that's playing in a band. Like, I know there's still musicians in this town. I shouldn't say there's nobody I know playing in a band, because Charlie and Michael and Levi Chapman all play in Pure Drive, and they're amazing. They're a really good band, and they've all been musically active for as long as I can remember. So that's not true that I don't know anybody that's in a band or anything, but I would honestly say that they're carrying the torch. They are the music scene in this town. I mean, if you compare it to how it was when we were in our early 20s, we don't have our rock station anymore. We don't have 100.1 The Buzz. And they really did a lot for the local music scene. So that would be my answer before I started this podcast. But like, since I've started it, I've learned that there is a music scene in Missouri. I mean, there's a thriving cover band scene, if you want to call it that, in this area now. But when it comes to original music, everybody I've been talking to, they say that it's all in the big cities. Kansas City, Springfield, even Sedalia to an extent. So, I don't know. The original music is living on, but it's just not here. Right. So it's really opened my eyes. Like, I'm really grateful to be doing what I'm doing, to learn that there's hope for the music scene yet.
See, me personally, if I go see a band, I want to see what they wrote. Their originals. Right. I don't want to hear them play Sweet Home Alabama or, all these other songs that you hear on the radio.
Right.
I want something original, something I haven't heard before. I don't know, it just shows like the true band themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
With their music writing and their lyrics and everything. But that's just my personal preference.
Well, it was fun, when I was younger. Like, even though I didn't enjoy certain types of music that I was around, like, when I was with Senseless Tragedy, we played in, I think it was Springfield. And, like, we were part of the audience, and the bands and stuff and the house music that they were playing in between bands, it was like this, like screamo, like, hardcore, like, growling and all this stuff, and I'm sitting there like, I don't belong here, man. That's not my thing. Like, I mean, I like to scream every now and then, but like the growling and like this insane music but I can respect it at the same time. Like, it wasn't my thing, but it was fresh and it was new, and it was definitely not something you were going to hear on the radio.
Right.
And there was a lot of like young kids doing original music too, and I mean, we were pretty young when we were doing original music, but I mean, we weren't doing stuff like that. But I don't know, is it a young person's game now? Like, do the young people do the originals, and do older people like me play covers? Like, I don't know the rules anymore. Like, I don't know how things are.
So I know around the lake area we had the radio station 100.1 The Buzz. Back then it was a rock station.
Yes.
Now it's a country station.
What a shame.
So that had the homegrown show.
Yes.
Now that that's gone, do you think that kind of is what killed originals and people like kind of bringing their own material?
I think it has something to do with it. Like, we were on the Hometown Buzz a couple of times, and then I was on the Hometown Buzz as a solo artist in 2007. But I will say 93.5 has the homegrown show with Bob Ice. Thank goodness for him and for 93.5, because that is literally like, it's like the last thread of original music being played on the radio. It's like the last chance.
So I'm going to get to a big question that I kind of want to know about. So you started this podcast. What made you want to start the podcast in the first place?
It's changed. Originally, like, it's a poorly kept secret now, but originally I wanted to get together with the guys from the scene back in the day, you know, like an old man having a midlife crisis. Like, I wanted to talk to everybody and drum up some nostalgia and see if they wanted to play again. Like, just for fun, you know. There is no music scene, so obviously there's no bragging rights or, you know, notoriety to be had. I just think it would be fun to play and show our families and our kids and people who weren't around at that time, like, what we used to do, and at the same time challenge ourselves to see if we could still do it. But I'm still totally interested in that. But it really changed when I reached out on Facebook, because I was gonna talk to people from our area, and then I reworded it. I literally edited the post to anybody in Missouri, and like Facebook exploded. Like, everybody was messaging and saying, hey, you know, we're interested. Hey, we'll talk. We want to be on. That would be great. Because I joined some groups on Facebook, which there's a very good amount of groups and communities on Facebook of local musicians. So I posted in those groups, and it got an incredible response. So I'm like, holy crap, there's something here. Like, people want to talk. They want an outlet. They want to tell their stories. They want to promote themselves. Like, there's still people out there like we were that are trying. They're trying to make it in this music scene in this state. They're trying to make art. They're trying to perform. And, you know, I just talked to Alex Contreras from Tapeside out of Sedalia. He told me that he's well aware that they don't make any money. Like, artists don't make any money. And they're just doing it to have fun. And he said that they don't make a lot of money from merch, but he said if anybody asks for merch, he'll give it to them for free. He said as long as, like, people support their music and stuff, and they're enthusiastic about it, and they show up to the gigs and stuff, they don't care if they make any money. And I was, like, sitting here in the chair, like, duh. Like, what are you thinking, Jordan? Like, you know, you forgot what it was all about. And that is what it's about. It's about getting your art out there and finding people that connect with it, not playing, you know, covers and getting paid.
Well, and that's the sad part is nowadays that's what everybody wants. Everybody is wanting the money or to get big and famous. And really it should be about, like you said, getting your art out there, kind of showing what you can do with music, with an instrument, with your voice, with your songwriting. Have fun with it. That's like the main thing is have fun, enjoy it. And a lot of people have lost that. They're all about the money and the fame.
Oh yeah, everybody wants to be viral and TikTok famous and YouTube famous.
Right?
And there's other people, like you just said, that they just want to perform for people and they just want people to dig them. That's it. Simple as that. And like, it just blew me away to hear him say that, because it just turned the clock back, 15 years when I was 21. And kind of wanted the same thing. Like, I just want to play for people and want people to enjoy our music and stuff. So that's what it's turned into. Like, we kind of have two different things going on. Like, if this were a TV series 1 is the reunion show. It's the pilot of the show. It's to get people together and reconnect. Some of these guys that were on the scene earlier, back in the day, like, they haven't talked to each other in years.
Right.
And it's like, reconnecting people is just a bonus with this whole thing. But that's series 1 or season 1, and season 2 is going to be getting to know Missouri's musicians and helping them get their art out there and get their names out there in this topsy-turvy digital world we live in. Like, that's one thing I learned from talking to some of these people, that it's hard to be an artist now. Like, granted, it's easy to record stuff and put it on the internet, but it's so different than it used to be.
It really is.
Recording a CD was like one of our biggest goals. That and playing the Blue Note when we were in No Call, No Show. We wanted to play the Blue Note in Columbia, and we wanted a demo CD. That's it. That was a big thing for us, and now it's like, I say it in like every podcast, you can do everything from your own home, but it's like, you don't have that connection that we were talking about, you and me. Like, you can't connect with the people who dig your stuff because it's online.
Right.
I mean, you can't in the way that you can if they were standing 5 feet from you. You could go live on Facebook and play songs and stuff and see the little freaking like heart things show up on your screen. I don't know what happens. Like, somebody tell me what happens, but it's just not the same. So I really want to help these people. I want to help in any way that I can. Help these people that are still artists and they're still doing it for the right reasons.
Do you think there's a way to turn all this around and bring all that back?
I don't know.
Because I think it'd be fun. I think it would be pretty cool to do.
I think it starts with the young people. Like, where are they? What are they doing? I think they have their phones in their hands and they're playing video games and they're on social media. I don't think they have guitars in their hands or drumsticks or whatever. Unless you're Charlie. Charlie always has drumsticks in his hands, but I think it starts there. I think it's going to take a long time for things to get back to how they were, if they ever do.
Yeah. Well, did you think your podcast was going to blow up as big as it did?
Well, I don't know if I'd say that. I mean, I didn't realize there was a need for artists, or an interest for artists to tell their stories and promote themselves in this format, in this platform. Like, there's more to artists than just promotion. I think people have stories to tell. They have experiences to share, Look at the story of No Call, No Show. Some band no one's ever heard of that was only together for a little while. Like, I mean, in my little bubble that I live in, like, I feel like it's an interesting story. But there's way more people out there who have things to say that will just blow people's minds. And I'm really anxious and excited to talk to people and find out what those stories are.
I'm anxious to hear more.
Well, hang in there. We got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm trying to grow the social media, and that's a whole project in itself. But slow and steady wins the race. You gotta be a disaster before you become the master, they say.
Right.
So it's a long journey ahead, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it along the way. I'm just trying to take things slow and just really enjoy it. We do have a YouTube page now, and I am uploading full episodes of the podcast on YouTube, ad-free, I think.
Oh, jeez.
I hope so. I mean, I'm not
Ad-free.
monetized.
Gosh dang it, there's a freaking ad.
That guy's a liar. I'm thinking about dropping some premiere episodes on YouTube at some point before the podcast platforms get it. Get on YouTube and you'll hear it first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm kind of chopping up clips of each podcast too. Swing by, give it a follow, like some stuff, share some stuff. I also wanted to plug something that I've been thinking about doing. I'm going to post it on Facebook too, but we're going to do 3-minute Thursdays. 3-minute Thursdays. Email me at momusicianspodcast@hotmail.com or send me a Facebook message, and we will arrange a time for you to call me, and you will have right around 3 minutes to just say whatever you want to say about your band, about your music, about your shows, about your albums, whatever. Promote yourself, get all of your plugs in, and just talk to the people. 3 minutes, short and sweet, just like TikTok or something. Like, just cut right to the point, and we will do that as much as we can, and I'll post every Thursday.
That's an awesome idea.
Thanks. So we got 3-minute Thursdays coming up, and we have 3 phone interviews and 3 sit-down interviews. So everybody like, follow, share, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook. You know the drill. Tara, thank you for being my hostess tonight.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. I'm so grateful